Hey class, this week's article I chose for you deals with the microbiome. Although this is a little out of my area of expertise, because I'm a physical scientist and I'm really bad at biology, to be honest with you. But I have found this fascinating, and it's interesting to see an article about this. And the idea with the microbiome is we have a symbiotic relationship with bacteria. It's not just humans. Other mammals do, and insects. There is a symbiotic relationship, always, always. And we see this for all multicellular organisms. And in Hawaii, there's lots of research done between coral and a symbiotic microbiome or symbiotic um, microorganism called zooxanthella, for instance. And if it wasn't, and that's a very, very clear symbiotic relationship because one really cannot survive on the other. And as for us humans, this is true as well. We could not survive without our microbiome. And a lot of people think about the gut bacteria microbiome, but the microbiome is more than that. We have a symbiotic relationship in many, many places. And skin is one of them. I already mentioned the gut and various other parts of our bodies. It's important for our immune system. It's important for digestion and various things. Like for instance, if you've ever taken antibiotics and then it wrecks your gut, partially is because it's killing the antibiotics are killing the friendly bacteria as well. I even say we call it friendlies. I mean, there's pathogenic bacteria that cause illnesses, and then there's a symbiotic, also known the friendly ones, and these do many the friendly ones. They do many things. And it's interesting, and this is an emerging field. This is a developing field, and it's even at the point where eventually people may even diagnose your microbiome and look at your microbiome health. And I've heard various people talk about this, and some of the things historically, many people believe that our microbiomes are becoming less diverse. So, and that was looking at fecal samples from uh, ancient peoples and kind of seeing what their microbiomes look like. It's different than ours, and it's also regional. Uh, so, I mean, I noticed this when I many times I spend the summers in the U.S. mainland, and I can feel my microbiome change. It almost adapts to the environment of sorts. So it's interesting. And then this article says that one of the ways that we can get microbiome to like how your microbiome it changes is by who you associate, and specifically close physical contact, people you have close physical contact with. So I mean, like your parents, obviously, especially child mother. The seeds of the microbiome are planted uh, starting from birth, and there's even some like with a vaginal birth versus a C-section. So C-section babies, for instance, oftentimes have a slightly higher case of asthma than a vaginal birth baby, and so that's interesting, and why is that? And the answer is it's the microbiome, and how the exact process works, we don't know. So this is, like I said, it's an emerging field, and that's why I'm bringing this up because this is the cool new stuff that's going on, and so who we associate with, and the first question I got after reading this article is they don't mention animals. So I wonder about the microbiome you share with animals. So I mean, I myself I have cats, so I wonder if and they didn't show up today for the video, unfortunately. That'd be fun, but they're sleeping, and so I wonder about like the microbiome you get from pets, or if you work with other animals, like if you work with horses or sheep, for instance. So I that's just a some curiosity to have at that, and so I just like I said, this is a interesting article and on the microbiome. So emerging field, we're still learning about this. Could be something for the future. and as far as medical care and or diagnosis. We're not there yet. What we do have is there are fecal transplants. So you can have someone's microbiome be seeded into yours via a fecal transplant. So we do have that technology now, and although it's not well understood, we just know it sometimes work under certain circumstances, right? So I mean that's like we notice something in the microbiome, we don't know what things do what, but we're getting there. And my dentist, for instance, told me to use baking soda in my when I brush my teeth. I still use fluoride toothpaste, but I put a pea-sized amount, and then I put baking soda in, and I brush my teeth that way. It has changed my oral health. Actually, it's made my oral health better. And the reason for this, according to my dentist, is that the alkaline environment changes your microbiome, and it builds better microbiome for the microbiome in your mouth in that circumstance. So, like I said, we know some things work. We don't know why, and we know it has to do with microbiome, and we're still trying to categorize things and figure things out. Oh, and one more thing I thought was interesting is that shared microbiome. So there seems to be certain things like diabetes and cardiovascular disease, but it seems maybe that the microbiome has some effect in this. Again, emerging field, we don't know, but it's interesting. It's interesting where this will go. So anyways, with all my correspondence with you guys, I hope it finds you very well. If you're not doing well, like basic needs are not being met, or if you're falling into poor mental health, please let me know. And other problems too. I mean, if we have groups that can help with quitting smoking, for instance, or say like a gambling addiction. If something like that happens, feel free to contact me. I see myself, among other things, as a connector. So as a connector, I can help find you help for whatever it is you're feeling. And of course, I mean, I'm a subject area expert, so if you have questions about this course, or if you have other academic questions, let me know. So I'm not, I'm more than I am a subject area expert, but I'm more than that. But I mean, my primary function is this class. So of course, come to me questions with the course, and that is by far, of course, the most questions that I field from students. So, well, I wish you well, and aloha for now.